Welcome. Welcome to today's meditation. Thanks for joining in. And this meditation today, to me, anyways, is about returning to silence. And it's in this field of silence where we can root and recover a sense of resiliency. And resiliency, in and of itself, is about recovering from something that may have been shocking, traumatic, challenging, that really calls upon a deeper resource in order to continue to move in whatever way we need to respond to a given situation and to kind of take us out of that reactionary brain and be able to give attention. One aspect is what we give attention to. And as you know, in these meditations, they're always about falling beneath the head, into the body. So when we're attending only to thought or, jumping into the future and what we think might happen, where everything that's happening now is going to lead, it's more of a returning. And silence is always here and it locates itself in your body. And when we resource ourselves here, it's interesting to notice that when attention can drop into the body, that naturally there's more space for thought, and that thought can start to empty, and you can feel yourself just leaning and relaxing into a wider space of calm. So that's one part, is what are we giving our attention to? And that's for each of us to explore, what is worthy of our attention? And what, if we're putting our attention in one direction, how does it make us feel? What does that do to our energy body? And then we can choose to shift. So there's choosing involved in resiliency. And another big part, which we do in all of the meditations, is a very wide space of kindness to allow for everything to be as it is. So we're coming out of any resistance or, any deluded ways of thinking, and recovering a sense of clarity. So when we allow everything to be as it is, there's a clarity that can present itself in the mind, in the body, and in whatever direction it is we need to go. So there's returning home to silence, attention, allowance, and letting go of what doesn't serve us. And letting go is not really an activity that we can so much decide, but the letting go comes as a result of allowing everything to be as it is in a great field of kindness, and not pushing anything away and not pulling anything toward us. And in doing that, naturally, we're aligning with our deepest wisdom, with our hearts, and with our deep care, and with what we know to be true. And within that, there's a natural letting go, a softening into something that's much more sustainable, very empowering and strengthening. And another aspect is, I just said it, accessing, this allows you to access your power. And when we root and access this truth of the power of who we are, there's a natural sustainability, a capacity to thrive and to continue in this day-to-day not knowing really how long we're going to be in a particular situation that we're in, whatever that is, and being able to stay with it, to hang in, but to hang in from a wider space of calm and resourcing more deeply who and what we actually are, and our essential kindness and care. We wouldn't be thrown off by any given situation if we didn't care about it. And that's really important to remember. And that allows us to really fall into the deep care that we're born you now. That was just kind of, words. And I'm an experiential person, so I like to just take us directly into having an experience so that you can feel your resiliency. You can come into a deeper resource of calm and sustainability. So go ahead and just relax your body. You don't have to take up any particular position, but just relax. Let the body kind of open, sense of the shoulders falling, the breath moving more deeply in the body, and then just coming into a posture of openness and ease. And let your eyes close softly so your attention is turning in. And this is the first part. What are we giving attention to? So right now you can just let attention fall into the body. For some of us, it helps to attend to the breath. And you can follow the breath if you like. And there's a restorative nature just in noticing the breath and inviting it widen and deepen in the body. So you're taking up more space in you. So you're giving space to be able to attend, to give attention to what's actually happening in you. There may be all kinds of things going on around you. So there may be thought happening, and that's never a problem. So we give attention to thought by hooking onto it and following it, like sticking to it like Velcro. And we can find ourselves then getting very busy in the mind, circling around. So here we're allowing the mind to unwind by not hooking, by not sticking to thought, softening and being the space of noticing thought as it just passes by. If it's really important, it will come back. And after this meditation, it will come back with more clarity. And so in this meditation, we're going to be able to discern the difference between thought that doesn't serve and the practicalities of thought that allow us to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. And by softening into the spaces between thought, as you just let them pass, you can feel yourself dropping more into the body. Just much more interesting, this wider field of view. So just letting attention widen into the body. And let attention be a wider field, like it's a global field of awareness. So you don't need to attend to any one thing in particular. You're just slipping into a wider space of noticing, so that attention doesn't feel like it needs to stick to any one place. For now, just let your attention widen. And if you do find that it focuses in one particular area, let that be okay. So okayness is the sense of gentle kindness. It's very soft. And then you can feel a wider field of you. It's always here, more still and more quiet. It maybe doesn't necessarily locate itself in any one place. Now, in our ordinary day-to-day awareness, there can be a tendency to go toward the noise, and maybe even to seek it out, more information. And there's so much information on the internet. It can keep us very busy in our minds, and it can also stimulate the nervous system, can stimulate the fight, flight, freeze in the brain. So here we're giving attention to a wider space in the body, which is very soothing to the nervous system. And if you haven't done so already, because I know for many of you this is very natural, to feel the base of your body all the way down to your feet. So this wide field of awareness is able and does contain every part of you from head to toes. So it's almost as if you have a very soft blanket around your entire body. Very soft, very thin, warm, that contains every part of you from head to toes. And doesn't necessarily attend to any one thing. And you can feel the body of your breath moving in this wide space. So this is one tool for accessing a wider field of view by allowing attention to be global and not have to hold itself to any one point. And feel the width and the depth of you, where the breath can open in all directions, breathing in and through your body, expanding the heart, the chest on all sides, feeling the softness of the belly as it widens and deepens, and breathes all the way down and around the hip carriage, the legs, the feet. It's very restorative, rooting and anchoring in the base of the body, a soft blanket that contains all of you, perhaps providing a sense of safety, soothing comfort. And you can just hang in this wide spaciousness. And what comes next is allowing whatever is happening in this wider field of view to be as it is. You're the noticing. So we have moved from a point of attention to a wide space of noticing and allowing for whatever may be noticed in and contains all of you. So this awareness is the context of you, for every part of you to just be. Sensations can be just as they are. So if there's tingling or numbness or contraction that is being noticed, you don't try to change that. There's just space for it to be just as it is. And in the space of allowance, you notice what happens. Allowance in and of itself is very revitalizing. It's not holding or pushing. Be and move. Spaces that are still and quiet. Continue to open in a space of allowance. And you may notice that the places that are noisy or fatigued or feeling heavy, dense, or weighted in any way that they naturally open into a wider space of quiet just by allowing them to be as they are. There's no time in this. There's no hurry. There's no asking for anything to be different. You may notice in this wider space of allowance that there's a natural, a very natural returning to a sense of home, a sense of belonging to the quiet essence of you, still and calm, amidst any movement, any parts that may not quite settle. You let that be okay. Because if you check with yourself, and you can even drop this question inside, is it okay that this is happening? And listen, feel. It's not a question for the mind. Is it okay that this is happening? And whatever the answer is in your body from this greater field, you let that be okay. You can use that question at any time throughout your day when you're presented with something. Maybe there's a part of you that is pushing it away or thinks that shouldn't be happening, really wants it to be different. You can soften. Just ask, is it all right that this is happening? You ask it to hear, to this place of you that's anchored, rooted in a wider awareness of calm, of being at home, of returning to the silence of you, the stillness of you. And you may find that here, in this wider field, that there's an aliveness that is okay with challenge, with difficulty, with the unexpected, that really thrives. Because this is its growth, its place of maturity. This is its place of evolution. This is its place of becoming all that you can be. This is the place of touching so deep into the calling of why we are here, and the remembering that our life is sacred. And sacred does not mean without challenge. It means to have. So let yourself feel here in the core of you, this part that thrives on rising to meet whatever life might be presenting. It says, I got this, we got this. Yeah, this is my evolution. This is the emergence of my strength. This is the cultivation of resiliency. So keep your eyes closed for a couple of more minutes so that you can just really sink in here. Wide attention, global awareness in this wide field that gives full allowance for everything to be as it is, and makes way for this accessibility, to access that part of you that thrives in meeting life just as it is. It has a restorative power because it's the juice of you, the aliveness of you, anchored and rooted in the ground, vitality. Let this fill itself out, flushing out all that doesn't serve you here, now, at this threshold of your life. Breathe it all through your body. Resource yourself from here. And let all those thoughts in the mind that do not serve, you let them subside and fade away in this greater current of resiliency, love, and deep, deep care. So take time to restore yourself from here, root from here, and access your resiliency. So worth it. You're so worth it. To listen to this greater call of rising from a deep well